Okay, in your binder, make sure you turn to the section in your binder where you take notes. In your notes where it says I do, this is the parts that I, your teacher, will complete. This is the instruction part. I will translate the expression and how we do it and how it's written. And then there's a we do part of your notes where we usually do that together. But for the purposes of fact, we're doing a video. I will treat the we do as you do's as I do's as well. Then when you get to the part of your notes that is you do's, that is the part you would do independently. You're supposed to do without your teacher. You use your notes that you had. And if you have any questions, you can jot them down. That's the beauty of a video. You can stop it, you can go back, you can rewind it, you can re-look at it. You can say, I'm going to just watch her do it, and I'm going to go back and write down the notes later. So with that being said, let's begin with our first example. We're going to translate this expression which says X, and then there's an addition sign and a 2. So basically, you have your variable. Your variable is whatever letter of the alphabet that they have shown here, which in this case, there's that letter X. Then you have a addition sign, and then you have the number 2. So we're just going to write this out. Usually when they say a variable, they normally call the variable a number, because typically a variable is a number. Something is representing the letter X, some number. We don't know what it is, so we just say a number. Then for the addition sign, this is where you can go back and look at those words that you wrote down in your notes for addition, and you can choose any of those words. Just make sure the sentence does make sense. In this case, I'm going to use plus, but you can use increased, you can use total, any of those words, as long as it makes sense. And then for the number 2, you're going to actually write out the word 2. So please write out the numbers. This is a great way for you to practice writing numbers. But that's your answer, a number plus 2. Done. Right, so let's look at the second example. Our second example, we have an actual written expression. So in this case, we have a number. And I told you if you see a number, it represents your variable. So you can pick any letter of the alphabet you want. I'm going to pick Y in this case. Less, the word less, according to when you go back into your notes, because you should be following your notes as you're doing this until you get used to seeing these words. When you look for the word less, it's under subtraction. So this is a subtract. So we're going to put a subtract sign. And then you have the word 7, which is the number 7. Why subtract 7? A number less 7. You say 10 less 7, $10 less $7, then you got $3. So that's subtraction. Right? So for our next example here, we have an X over 4 with that fraction bar. And usually when we see a fraction bar, that does mean division. So in this case, division is written just slightly different. I'm going to use the word quotient. So I'm going to say the quotient. Sorry, let me put that underneath. So I'm going to say the quotient of, because you when you use quotient, you use the quotient of. All right, so whenever you write, when you see something written in division, especially as a fraction, you always write what's in the numerator first. Numerator first. You must write what's in the numerator first. Write a little note to yourself about that in your notes. So what's in the numerator? In this case, the numerator is the variable itself. So what represents the variable? You say the quotient of a number, because that represents your variable. All right. Then you're going to say the word and. Okay, because whenever you say the quotient of, that automatically lets you know it's division. You can write it as a fraction, so it's a number, which is a number in the numerator, and then whatever's written in the denominator is what comes after the word and, which is 4. So we're going to write out 4. So there you have it, the quotient of a number and 4. So please go back and write these down in your notes if you need to revisit.